When Daredevil dropped on Netflix in 2015, it didn't just make noise, it dominated the conversation. Fans were hooked, critics were impressed, and the numbers proved it was a massive hit. According to Luth Research, 10.7% of Netflix's 40.9 million US subscribers tuned in during the first 11 days. That's about 4.4 million viewers, giving a completely new show a shot in under 2 weeks. With numbers like that, it's obvious Netflix wasn't holding back when it came to investing in Daredevil. They shelled out a hefty $3.3 million per episode, and with a 39-episode series, that added up to a jaw-dropping $129 million. This shows that Netflix was all in on their Marvel shows, and Daredevil proved to be worth every penny. The budget wasn't just for CGI though. It was about creating a show that felt real, gritty, and unforgettable. From the dark and moody Hell's Kitchen streets to the insanely well-choreographed fight scenes, you could see where the money went. Every punch, every detail, every intense moment on screen screamed quality. Netflix didn't just throw money at Daredevil, they made sure it delivered on every level, and fans noticed. With a budget like that and production quality to match it, it's no surprise that Daredevil got a massive response. The show didn't just perform well, it crushed it. It scored an amazing 92% on Rotten Tomatoes and an 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb, solidifying its spot as one of the best superhero adaptations ever made. Fans couldn't get enough of how the show managed to balance emotional, character-driven storytelling with brutal action. It wasn't just mind-numbing superhero content like a lot of stuff Marvel has released. Every punch and every fight carried weight, telling a deeper story. Meanwhile, critics were just as impressed, praising the series for raising the bar on what superhero TV could achieve. Unfortunately, this excitement only lasted 3 seasons. Daredevil getting cancelled made fans furious all over the world. Social media erupted, with backlash aimed at both Netflix and Marvel. The news wasn't just about the end of Daredevil, it was basically the end of every Marvel Netflix show. This included Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and even The Punisher. Fans expressed heartbreak and frustration, feeling as though Marvel had abandoned a universe that everyone could appreciate. Even though people didn't love Iron Fist, shows like Daredevil, The Punisher, and Jessica Jones were considered some of the franchise's best work. The disappointment wasn't just about losing a show, it was about losing characters and stories that resonated on a personal level. Daredevil wasn't just entertainment, it was one of the best comic book shows of all time, and the way it was randomly left on a cliffhanger and cancelled made no sense. Many fans questioned Marvel's decision-making, accusing the studio of prioritizing business over the passion and loyalty of its audience. The outrage was undeniable, with hashtags like #SaveDaredevil flooding timelines as fans petitioned for the series to continue elsewhere. Marvel found itself under immense scrutiny for allowing one of its most critically acclaimed and universally loved shows to be cut short. For fans, it wasn't just a cancellation, it was a betrayal of their investment in a world that had set the standard for superhero storytelling. Daredevil fans didn't just vent their frustration, they took action. Petitions to save the show spread like wildfire online, with some gaining hundreds of thousands of signatures. Campaigns like Save Daredevil picked up momentum, keeping the show in the public eye long after its cancellation. It wasn't just petitions. Threads, posts, and fan art flooded platforms like Twitter and Instagram, all united by one plea: Marvel, bring back Daredevil. The passion behind these efforts was undeniable, as fans made their voices heard, determined to resurrect a show that had meant so much to them. The movement wasn't just about one series, it also made a statement about how dangerous it was for studios to cancel shows without hesitation. Fans weren't just asking for more episodes of a show, they were fighting for the legacy of a show that had set the bar for superhero storytelling. Despite the odds, they refused to let Daredevil die out. After years and years of relentless campaigning, fans of Daredevil were finally rewarded in 2021 when Matt Murdock made his highly anticipated appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home. While he wasn't in the movie for long, his few scenes gave people hope again. Seeing Charlie Cox reprise his role as the blind lawyer of Hell's Kitchen was a moment of sheer joy for longtime fans who had been waiting for his return since Netflix canceled the show. This scene wasn't just about Daredevil showing up as a cameo though, it was evidence that Charlie Cox was returning to the MCU. In just a few scenes, he made Daredevil fans all over the world remember why he was perfect for the character. Whether it was the subtle confidence in his demeanor or the iconic moment where he caught a brick midair, Cox's performance reignited hope for Daredevil fans all over the world. What made this moment even cooler was the fact that even though Daredevil is pretty underrated to mainstream Spider-Man fans, everyone could appreciate how cool his scenes were. Even non-Daredevil fans got excited for this cameo, and they shared that all over the internet. This cameo also hinted at something bigger, the possibility of Matt Murdock returning as Daredevil and giving fans more of the character that was pretty much robbed from the comic book audiences. This Daredevil dream became a reality in 2022 when Kevin Feige took to the stage at San Diego Comic-Con and announced Daredevil Born Again. After years of petitions, fan campaigns, and endless speculation, the confirmation felt like a victory for Daredevil fans all over the world. Not only was Daredevil making a comeback, but he was also set to play a bigger role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe than ever before. Right off the bat, Born Again was confirmed for an 18-episode season, which was eventually split into two 9-episode seasons. Unlike previous seasons, Born Again was revealed to be a soft reboot, allowing the series to integrate seamlessly into the MCU timeline. As most fans know, Daredevil was already canon in the MCU, but it was also in a weird place where Netflix shows wouldn't be referenced by the big screen movies or Disney Plus shows. This wasn't just continuity though, it was a fresh chapter, promising new challenges for Matt Murdock while honoring the legacy that had made the character a fan favorite. It also meant that he would be able to come into more movies and TV shows in the upcoming MCU phases. The announcement sent a clear message. Marvel recognized Daredevil's significance and his potential to shine on a much larger scale. This wasn't merely about fan service, it was about continuing the story of a character who always stood out. From his epic showdowns with Wilson Fisk and Bullseye, to his deeper personal struggles with morality, faith, and justice, Daredevil has constantly transcended the typical superhero narrative. Feige's announcement reaffirmed that depth, ensuring fans that Matt Murdock would remain a vital part of Marvel's ever-expanding universe. In the build-up to Daredevil Born Again, Matt Murdock made his much-anticipated return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe with appearances in She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, and Echo. These cameos are easily the best part of the shows, offering fans a glimpse of Charlie Cox slipping back into his more iconic role as Daredevil. Yet, as exciting as they were, they sparked a mixed bag of emotions amongst fans, with She-Hulk drawing more controversy than praise. The problem was that Daredevil's two appearances in the MCU shows both took place in some of the lowest rated projects. While his own appearances were good, it was definitely a little bit concerning. Marvel made no secret of Daredevil's inclusion in She-Hulk, even going so far as to use him as a central piece of the show's marketing. Trailers teased his arrival, with fans eagerly anticipating his reintroduction to the MCU. However, when the episode finally aired, many were left conflicted. Daredevil's humor-filled tone and lighter personality were a noticeable departure from the darker, brooding hero that fans had come to know in the Netflix series. Despite She-Hulk's divisive reception and inconsistent quality, Daredevil managed to work his magic. Most of the fans were okay with his portrayal, with some people saying that he was a little too unrealistic. They also teased fans with the hallway fight scene that didn't actually end up happening, but that was obviously intended to hype fans up for Daredevil's widely appreciated hallway fight scenes in his own show. This chemistry between the two characters was kind of questionable, but most people looked past it, and while the tone felt vastly different from the Netflix series, it hinted at Daredevil's adaptability in different environments. While She-Hulk gave Daredevil fans a chance to see Matt Murdock in a different light, Echo returned him to his roots, reintroducing some of the grittiness that had defined his Netflix show. The fight scenes in Echo were awesome, at least the ones with Charlie Cox. Though details about his involvement in the series were kept under wraps for some time, his moments on screen didn't disappoint. Ultimately, Matt Murdock's appearances in She-Hulk and Echo served as appetizers, giving fans enough to hold on to while building anticipation for Daredevil Born Again. The stakes for Daredevil Born Again couldn't be higher. Fans have waited 7 years for the return of the character, and the pressure is on Marvel to craft a story that honors the character's legacy while pushing it forward. This isn't just about continuing Daredevil's story. It's a test to see if Marvel genuinely does have potential to make good projects again. Recently, there's been tons of issues with Marvel writing, and the franchise has taken a noticeable dip in quality. They've released so many projects that the fans don't like or care for, including Ant-Man Quantumania, Secret Invasion, She-Hulk, The Marvels, What If Season 3, and so much more. With that being said, there's a massive audience fear that the writers can also mess up Daredevil the way they've messed up other stuff, but the trailer looks promising. Netflix's Daredevil series set a high bar with its gripping narratives, sick fight scenes, and moral complexity. Fans expect Born Again to preserve that legacy while exploring Matt Murdock's new role within the MCU. The series needs to correctly balance its darker roots with the lighter tone of the broader MCU, a challenge that, if mishandled, could alienate loyal fans. Beyond the storytelling, Born Again has broader implications. It's a chance for Marvel to prove its commitment to quality streaming content after some recent Disney Plus missteps. A successful series could really reignite excitement for the MCU, drawing in both new and old fans. However, the show failing could be the final nail in the coffin for fan excitement and the future of the franchise. Daredevil is a project that they simply cannot afford to get wrong, and the stakes are higher than ever.